My wife kissed her ex on our anniversary, so I let her choose who she really loved. I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to walk out onto the restaurant balcony, wine glass still in my hand, searching for my wife on our anniversary night, only to find her lips pressed against her ex's like the past had never died. My heart didn't break, it froze. My hands shook so hard the glass nearly slipped. I remember staring at them, her fingers tangled in his hair, like I was watching a stranger steal my life. She didn't even notice me at first, not until he pulled away, and she whispered, "I've missed you." And those 3 words shattered something inside me I didn't even know was fragile. When her eyes finally met mine, she went pale. The guilt hit her face before the excuses even formed on her tongue. But I didn't shout. I didn't rage. I didn't even move. I just looked at her with a calmness that scared her more than any anger ever could. Because in that moment, I made a decision. A decision that would show her exactly what betrayal feels like. She thought the kiss was the worst part. She had no idea what was coming next. But that was just the beginning. Before everything shattered, our life looked beautifully ordinary, the kind of ordinary people envy. We'd been married for almost 6 years, and most days felt soft, predictable, and safe. She'd wake up before me, humming some half-forgotten song while making coffee. I'd wander into the kitchen half asleep, and she'd lift her mug toward me with that lazy morning smile that always made the world feel simpler. Weekends were our rhythm. Grocery shopping. Hand in hand, cooking dinner together, her chopping vegetables, me stealing pieces just to make her laugh. Movie nights where she'd fall asleep on my shoulder before the opening credits even ended. Everyone saw us as the couple who had it all. And I believed it too. We celebrated small things, burnt pancakes that made us laugh, surprise notes tucked into lunchboxes, long drives with no destination. She would call me her safe place. I would call her my home. I never imagined anything could threaten the life we built. Not her past. Not the man she once loved. Not the promises we whispered to each other in the dark. Looking back now, maybe the signs were there: the longer showers, the sudden phone silence, the faraway look in her eyes. But back then, I held onto the version of us that felt unbreakable. If only I knew how fragile it really was. The first red flag didn't crash into my life, it whispered. It started on a Tuesday evening. One of those quiet nights where nothing dramatic usually happens. She came home later than usual, hair a little too perfect, cheeks a little too flushed. When I asked how work was, she hesitated. Just for a second. A tiny pause I probably would have missed if I wasn't looking directly at her. But I felt it. A shift. A crack. She said she stayed late helping a coworker finish a project. I nodded, pretending it made sense, pretending I didn't notice her avoiding my eyes. Later, when she showered, her phone buzzed on the nightstand, once, twice, then again. Same name, same notification preview. A name I hadn't seen in years, her ex. My heart didn't break then. It just stuttered. I told myself I was overthinking. That she wouldn't hide anything from me. That maybe it was innocent. That I was being dramatic. It's funny how we all do that. Ignore the signs. Explain away the discomfort. Convince ourselves that the person we love would never hurt us. But when she came out of the shower and saw me looking at her phone, the way she froze, that was the moment I knew something was changing. I just didn't know how much. After that night, the little things stopped feeling little. She started taking her phone everywhere. Bathroom, kitchen, even to take out the trash. Before, she used to leave it lying around without a thought. Now it was glued to her hand like a secret she wasn't ready to spill. Her notifications, once loud enough to wake the whole house, suddenly went silent. Screen turned face down. Password changed. And every time it buzzed, she'd flinch a tiny, guilty movement she probably thought I wouldn't notice. One evening, around 11:47 p.m., I walked into the living room to get water. She was on the couch, phone held close to her face, smiling that soft smile she used to reserve for me. But when she saw me, the smile vanished like it had never existed. Who was that? I asked gently. She shrugged. Just a friend, just a friend. The most dangerous phrase in a dying marriage. Another night. She came home smelling of cologne that wasn't mine. She insisted she brushed past someone in the elevator. Maybe, maybe not. I kept telling myself not to jump to conclusions. But every clue felt heavier than the last. And the worst part? I wasn't ready to admit what my heart already knew. The moment everything shattered didn't come with screams or fights. It came quietly like betrayal always does. It was a Saturday afternoon. She had gone out shopping with friends. I stayed home, cleaning, trying to pretend our marriage wasn't slipping through my fingers. When I went to tidy her side of the bed, I noticed something that didn't belong there. Her phone unlocked. Screen glowing. She never, ever left it unattended anymore. My hands shook before I even picked it up. I told myself not to look. To respect her privacy. To trust her the way I always had. But trust doesn't stop a breaking heart. The first thing I saw was a message preview. From Ethan. Her ex. Then another. I don't know how long I stared before opening the thread. There they were, their pictures. Her smile, the one she hadn't shown me in months. His hand on her waist. A selfie of them in his car. And then the words that made my chest collapse. I miss you too. I still think about us. Saturday can't come soon enough. My vision blurred. My throat tightened. It felt like the room tilted under my feet. And then I saw a video of them in a dim hallway. Kissing. That was the moment something inside me died. That was the night I stopped being her husband. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. My hands wouldn't stop shaking, and my throat felt glued shut. So I waited for the moment she couldn't run. Couldn't hide behind excuses or dim hallways or silent notifications. The next morning, she walked through the door with shopping bags in her hands and guilt all over her face. She tried to smile, but it never reached her eyes. I placed her phone on the dining table gently, like it was a fragile bomb. We need to talk, I said. Her shoulders tensed. About what? I opened the messages. Turned the screen toward her, her lips parted. Her eyes widened. Color drained from her face. Ethan, I whispered. How long? She swallowed hard, looking anywhere but at me. It's not what you think. That's the line you're going with? My voice cracked. I watched the video. I saw you kissing him. On our anniversary week. She stepped back, like the truth physically pushed her. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just happened. No, I said. Accidents happen. You made choices. She finally looked at me, tears filling her eyes, but I wasn't moved. Not this time. Do you love him? I asked. The question hung heavy in the room. I could hear her heartbeat. I could hear mine breaking. She didn't answer. And that silence told me everything I needed to know. That night, I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I simply packed a small suitcase while she sat on the edge of the bed, crying into her hands. I had cried enough for both of us already. When I zipped the bag closed, something in me shifted, a quiet strength I didn't know I had. She begged me to stay. She promised to fix it. But I wasn't the one who broke us. I walked out of the house we built together with nothing but my dignity. I may have lost her. But in that moment, I finally found myself. Looking back now, I understand something I couldn't see through the pain. Betrayal doesn't just break you, it wakes you up. It forces you to confront truths you tried to bury under routine, comfort, and hope. I spent so long believing love meant staying, forgiving, ending. But real love, the kind that matters, should never make you feel small, unwanted, or replaceable. Her choices weren't a reflection of my worth. They were a reflection of her emptiness, and sometimes, losing the person you prayed would stay is what saves you in the end. Healing wasn't instant. I cried. I questioned. I blamed myself. But then one morning, I woke up and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. If someone makes you doubt yourself more than they make you feel loved, that's not a relationship. That's a warning. And walking away might just be the beginning of your freedom. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal or the weight of a broken promise, just know you're not alone. Healing takes time, but it always comes even when you least expect it. I'm sharing these stories because someone out there needs the reminder that they deserve honesty, loyalty, and real love. So tell me, what would you have done if you were in my place? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more emotional, real-life stories just like this one. Remember, trust is fragile. Protect it.